Hope you won't hold the attorney part against me now, folks. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the Long Island Tea Party and my good friends Laura Gill and Laura Millard for having me. I'm very honored to be here, but I'm even more honored to be before this wonderful audience. For you folks are the blood, the bone, the sinew of America. You are the folks that make America work. You are the ones that make America great. And that's as it should be in our republic. The foundation of our system of government, the underlying premise of the American way of life rests on three little words. We the people. Not we the bureaucrats, not I the government. Maybe it's my impression, but it seems over the last few years we've lost sight of the meaning embodied in those three little words, we the people. Perhaps this is a time for renewal, for a reaffirmation of our most basic values. In my own case, I recall my own father, a Cuban immigrant who found freedom here after it was lost on his native soil. And he taught me long ago that time is more than just a record or a reminder, that we live now in what was once the future, and what tomorrow will be the past, that in the brief span allotted to each of us upon this earth, we are at one and the same time the caretakers of our heritage and the guardians of all that is to follow. That's what being part of we the people is all about. In that spirit, I'd like to share with you a short sliver of history. It's called Once There Was a Great Nation by a man named Gary Rescan. Once there was a great nation founded by pilgrims who decided to leave their own country, which didn't encourage the freedom of religion. They migrated to an uncivilized land. The rock where they landed was to become a national shrine. They built crude shelters and houses of worship, setting aside a special day to give thanks. These pilgrims believed in their God, and they also believed in work. Then an older nation sent tax agents to exploit them. They sent their greatest men as representatives to a general assembly, choosing among them a gentleman farmer as their leader. He united them and won their war against the old world. That gentleman farmer became known as the father of his country. Today, a major American city bears his name. Ultimately, a civil war divided the fledgling country. Its leader, who tried to keep the Republic united, was assassinated. His murder has been immortalized by the greatest of all playwrights. After the wounds of the bloody Civil War healed, the nation became a world power. Yet with power and wealth, the nation began to change. Its citizens began to think of security paid for by tax money. Farmers petitioned for price supports. The government bought up crops to store in warehouses. Industrialists were next to ask for benefits, and they got them. The nation fell deeper into debt. It increased taxes, it devalued its currency, substituting base metals for silver in its coins. The middle class declined under the added financial strain. Thank you. Financial strain. That nation's name, why, it was ancient Rome. The rock where the pilgrims landed was called the Pilgrim's Rock, the foundation for what became the Temple of Jupiter. The gentleman farmer was Cincinnatus. The Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio is named after him. The assassinated leader was Julius Caesar. Shakespeare, of course, was the playwright. And as we all know from Gibbons, Rome was completely corrupted from within. Its middle class, the bedrock of any society, of any civilization, was decimated. The barbarians moved in as the gates fell, and humanity was plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. The parallel with our own history is almost too close for comfort. We wonder if we can avoid the repeat of such a tragic fate. Well, I for one don't believe that our story will end in darkness. For in America, there's always a bright dawn ahead. But I do believe if we continue on our present path toward a bigger and bigger federal government here at home, and toward more and more appeasement abroad, a similar disaster awaits us. The men who founded our country believed that human reason and fortitude, coupled with an all-abiding faith in the Almighty, were sufficient to accomplish anything on this earth. The question needs to be asked, are we today willing to pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor in just such a cause? I believe, and looking at this crowd, I'm confirmed in this belief, we are. After all, we are Americans. It is up to we the people to set our nation right and preserve for our children and their children this last bastion of freedom, this blessed land that Lincoln long ago rightfully called the last best hope of man on earth. Thank you for listening. May God bless each and every one of you. As always, may God bless the United States of America, and thank you very much.
Final speaker, we're going to bring up